Well, it's a good 4th of July for the LSU football program. A little bit annoying to those of us who write stories every time LSU gets a commitment, and there's two of them that pop up right there in the mid-morning of July 4th, and we're trying to enjoy some time on the lake. But shout out Matt Moscona for getting those posted up at LouisianaSports.net. It all continues to roll forward for LSU on the recruiting trail. 2 commitments on the 4th of July. The first one I want to talk about is Bryson Cooley, who LSU picked up from West Jones High School in Laurel, Mississippi. And Bryson Culie is a 4-star offensive tackle. He had offers and interest from Alabama, from Ole Miss, from the Mississippi schools, Georgia in the mix as well. And he ended up picking LSU. And every time LSU picks up an offensive line recruit in the Brian Kelly era, the first thing I do beyond the star grades and whatnot is I go straight to the measurables. Because Brian Kelly answered a question his first day in front of the press down here in Baton Rouge. I said, look, you've got a ton of offensive linemen y'all have shipped off to the NFL. Like, what's the secret to that? And he's like, well, we have a profile recruit too. And when I heard him say that, I go, well, I got to go figure that out. And it was really easy. he picks up long, lean, athletic offensive linemen, adds weight as they go, and pushes them into the NFL. And most of them look a lot like Will Campbell did in high school, and Emory Jones did in high school, and Paul Mabanga here did in high school, and DJ Chester did in high school. Like, these guys, very rarely will you see Brian Kelly go get an offensive lineman that is 6'3", 345. Like, that's not the way that he sees offensive linemen. And certainly you're going to have change at position coaches, and he's had Brad Davis here the entire time coaching the offensive line, and you've got to work in tandem with that coach, but they appear to be on the same page. And you look at Bryson Cooley, 6'6", 315. That is exactly the mold that Brian Kelly loves to look at on the offensive line. So this is a guy, I'm not here to break down the tape, to look at hand placement and leverage and all that kind of stuff. I'm not here to profile on the right side of the offensive line or the left side of the offensive line. I'm telling you, he had offers from some of the top programs in the Southeast. I'm telling you that he fits the profile that Brian Kelly really enjoys. And I'm telling you that Brian Kelly now has been here for 3 full years, and his first real offensive line just put 4 guys in the NFL draft. So this is an assembly line. This is a well-oiled machine for putting together quality offensive lines. I know it's the biggest question that we've got moving into this coming football season because all those guys moved out. But if you believe in the system that Brian Kelly has used over the last 2 decades between Notre Dame and LSU, it's been very, very effective, and it's effective because of guys that look like this and profile like this. And Bryson Cooley, I think, is a big, big get for LSU. LSU picked up his commitment on the 4th of July. Second commitment was from Isaiah Washington from Haynesville. I am probably a little bit more familiar with Haynesville than many of you, the listener, are. Maybe there are some of you that are more familiar with me than me, but Haynesville up there in North Louisiana has been really a football power at the 1A level for 40 years. They've been really, really good for a long, long time. But they've been really, really good for a long, long time without necessarily churning out high-level college talents. They've just had great coaching, athletic players, and they've beat up on the smaller schools in the state of Louisiana for a very, very long time. So Isaiah Washington comes in as a guy that runs track at Haynesville. He plays safety for the football team, 6'2", 170 pounds, and is a really, really good athlete. And he was torn between, looked like kind of LSU, Arkansas, maybe Tulane, but LSU saw something in his frame and his athleticism that they were drawn to. You look at a guy that's 6'2", that's big, wide frame. You look at a guy that is athletic enough to go out there and run track, that's what you're looking for. And you figure if he's 6'2", 170 now, by the time he's 6'2", 185, 6'2", 190, you've really got an impressive looking athlete. He's not going to wow you with the offer list, but I think there are some traits that obviously the staff really likes in Isaiah Washington. So you put these 2 guys in this class, and I was looking at the On3 team rankings, and you look at LSU now has the highest ranked score per player. So your average player ranking is the highest in the nation for this class of 2026, that most of which will sign in December of 2025. You're looking at 5 months away from National Signing Day as we sit here today, and the numbers aren't massive for LSU. I looked up a second ago. Arkansas has 25 commitments for this class. LSU is nowhere near that at just 14, but you're going for quality over quantity right now, and I think that's a reasonable thing to do. I wouldn't say you were wrong if you went and signed 30 high schoolers. Like, that's not the wrong way to go about it, but if you did go sign 30 high schoolers, you would have to be prepared for 15 or 18 of them to transfer out in the first 2 years, right? So instead of just what you used to do, you just want to get as many folks into the boat as you possibly can. Now it's about getting the right guys in the boat, because you know that you can fix any issues or you can plug any holes that you may have when the transfer portal comes open. Now, Brian Kelly has been adamant about two different things over the last 24 months. One, he prefers to build through the high school ranks for the foundation of the program. Two, you've got to now go out there and get older. So you don't sign these high school players with the anticipation that you're going to get them right onto the field. They're not all going to be exactly like Caden Durham was. But you understand that for every Caden Durham and DJ Pickett, and I believe he's going to play early and often, you're also going to have some guys that may sit around and wait a couple of years before they truly get their chance. And you'll look at a lot of those guys on this coming offensive line who have been in the program for a year or two. And now that Will Campbell's gone and Garrett Dellinger is gone and Emory Jones is gone, now that Miles Frazier's gone and there's spots open, those guys have the chance to step in and play. That's the more traditional route to the field. They're not all Harold Perkins. So it's every situation's unique, every situation's different, but you look at what LSU is putting together right now, and you've got an average rating for this class at 92.07. That's the best in the country. For perspective, Georgia's at 90.1, Texas A&M's at 91.1, USC's at 90.8. They got the top class in the country. Notre Dame is at 91, and LSU is sitting there at 92.07. So negligible, small numbers, but the best in the country is still the best in the country in terms of your average star rating, and LSU hopes over the next 7 days that you add a couple more very big names to that class. Lamar Brown, chief among those, and we'll continue this week to kind of monitor what's going on there. But this class for LSU, 14 commitments. And it's interesting because you look at the teams in front of them, USC, 31 high school commits. Georgia, 27 high school commits. Texas A&M, 24 high school commits. Notre Dame, 25. Alabama, 19. Ohio State, 21. And then you get to LSU, whose class is ranked 7th, 14 commits. You're 7, 8, 14 short of what some of these schools already have in terms of commitments. And that would have been a situation to panic about as of 5, 8 years ago. Like, oh my gosh, where are the players? But this day and age, no. Just make sure you bring in talented players. You'll see who decides to transfer out, who decides to go to the NFL after this next year, how many roster spots you got open, fill them. It's a 12-month job. I've said many, many times it makes being a college football coach really, really hard, but it's doable if you know what you're doing. And I do believe that LSU's coaching staff, from the top down, from Brian Kelly and Austin Thomas all the way down to position coaches, they've got a plan. They know what they want to do. They know how to spend their money. They now have revenue sharing to help deal with all that. And I think the fact that they're adding very, very high-quality players, even if not in massive numbers, is still a very, very good thing for LSU. We'll talk to some of the experts, Shay Dixon, Sonny Shipp, Sam Spiegelman, whoever, over the next 4 months about like where you think that number is going to settle in. But it stands to reason probably somewhere just north of 20. So you're looking at 7 or 8 more players over the course of the next 5 months. It's a pretty doable thing, I would think. And right now you've just got a very, very high quality amount of players. You got 2 5-stars, 9 4-stars, and 3 3-stars, according to the folks at Rivals and On 3. So LSU football nabs a couple of recruits over the weekend. They're off and running there. Hopefully Lamar Brown is next. We'll certainly break that down over the course of the next week. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.